Hello, Jaclyn here. I wanted to pop on and do a live this Sunday morning. So happy Sunday if you're seeing this on Sunday. I wanted to come on and talk about something that I think is like probably one of the hardest things to navigate in relationship, but also one of the most empowering and freeing things to explore in relationship. And that is your relationship to desire. And I've done some videos on this before, but I think I'm going to share a perspective today that's a little bit different. And it's coming from this place of really understanding when we're in relationship. I think two things that we really, really want to know we're going to experience. One, we want to know that we're going to feel loved. That's super important. Always say that feeling loved is a necessity, not a luxury, right? Like we are so driven to feel loved, but we're also really driven to feel free. And I think far too often in relationship, we just come to like accept and sort of be like, well, relationship is about less freedom. Relationship becomes about the relationship. And I really feel strongly that in relationship, we can explore desire, we can explore what really, really matters to us. And in a way where it honors like you as an individual and also still honors the relationship. And like when I think about how a lot of people deal with desire right now, I feel like it's like you get into a relationship and what happens is you kind of convince yourself that now that you're in a relationship, you have to sort of like put a blindfold onto your desire. And because desire can be scary, right? So you're like, okay, let me put on my blindfold. And then every once in a while you'll see something or you'll hear something that's like, like perks you up and gets you excited. And so you'll like peek through the blindfold, but you're also like, I can't do it. And so, like your relationship desire, the one thing I'm saying here is that desires are like never going to go away. They're always going to be there. And two, the more that you can realize, like, oh, okay, like this is never going away. I'm always going to have evolving desires. How can I learn to embrace them, even and especially in relationship? Because I will always want to feel loved. So, how can I embrace this? So, I want to talk about a specific idea that you can do to play with that. I just want to look at my notes for a second. Okay, so the thing that I really want to say is because desires can feel so scary, I'm noticing more and more in my journey with them. There's a way that you can play with like processing through and categorizing your desires in a way that can make them seem a little bit less scary or have you go in with like a little bit more intention to them. And not that, I mean, the truth is pursuing desires, like it can be scary. It can be scary. And this is important to know, right? Like, there's nothing wrong with you if you have a desire and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know. And I want to say, I don't think I've said this yet, but when I talk about desire, I'm not just talking about sexual desire. That can be included for sure. And I think that every couple comes to a point where there's sexual desires you want to discuss. But I'm also talking about desires that just light you up. Like things that get you excited, things that make you feel joyful, things that make you feel like you're living your life in a way that feels purposeful for you. So, and that's what's so important about honoring desire, I feel, is that your desires that come up, like they give voice, like they're little seedlings, they're little steps about like how you can live your life in a way that feels really true and good for you. And I believe that what is like good and life-giving for you becomes also good and life-giving for the relationship, however it evolves. And okay, so this is what I'm proposing for you to consider. And that is that there is a difference between innocent desires and rebellious desires. And I think like every desire, for me, what I'm thinking at this point, it's like every desire has an innocent seed to it, right? And it comes from that spark that you have your own uniqueness, you have your own authenticity, you have your own way of wanting to express yourself in the world. And those innocent desires really can Like they're so important to pay attention to and give attention to. And but we have these desires that can come up as well that also feel like somewhat rebellious. And these rebellious desires are more like you're trying to, like, you hope that if you follow that desire, someone's behavior will change or something will be different. It's like rebellious desires have a little bit more of an agenda to them. And I want to say, all right, off the bat too, like I don't think innocent versus rebellious desires are good or bad. And this is totally a personal process. So honor your personal process. But I think it can be so helpful to be able to tell the difference between the two. Because I think when you have a desire to both feel really, really good within yourself and to honor the relationship, the more that you can distinguish between innocent and rebellious desires, the easier it is to maintain connection in your partnership. And right, and when you wanna feel loved and free, I'm finding that that is such an amazing way to do it, to consider, like, what is there an agenda to this desire, or is it just something that's really, really calling me, that feels important to me? And there's no category of specific desires. It's not like if you have a desire to go to the park, that's an innocent desire. And if you have a sexual desire, it's a rebellious one. No, like this is a personal journey where you, as you're exploring your desires, as they come up, as you think about them, you get to decide, like, how does this feel for me? Is this coming from a place that just like this feels so right and good in my heart? And I feel like this would honor me, like, and it could be good for our relationship. Or is it coming from this place of "Mm, like something has to change, or like maybe if I do this thing, I'll get this reaction." Um, and yeah, so I encourage you, if you're struggling with the concept of desire, but you're really, really feeling pulled to both feel more loved and more free, and find a way that you can really achieve that in relationship more and more, I encourage you to play around with this and just to think a little bit about the differences there and how they come up for you, and this idea of innocent versus rebellious desires, knowing that neither is good, neither is bad, and it's just a personal journey. I can say for sure I have followed desires that, when I look back, like some were rebellious, right? And others were innocent. And I don't regret any of them. They've all helped me learn and grow. And I don't think any followed desires or thought of desires are ones that we're meant to feel bad about. But I think they are amazing, good information. So, yeah, so play with these ideas. I'd love to know in the comments below if this resonates for you. If you're, when you think about your own life and your own partnership, does this resonate? And yeah, and if you're listening to this and you're like, oh my gosh, desire feels so scary, I don't know how to navigate this, but you're wanting support, you can message me. I'm going to put my email in the comments below. And so you can reach out if you are looking for personal support. I do offer one-on-one coaching. And I also have a webinar I'm offering at the end of the month. So I can put the sign up for that below if you're new to me and you just want to get to know me a little bit better. So I hope this was helpful, gave you some ideas to think about, and wishing you an amazing rest of the day. And I'll see you next time.